Anyway, let's move on, because I have to say this next bit is welcome news, in my opinion, or at least I think it is, because I was under the impression the government's leasehold reform bill had fallen by the wayside, a victim of a much curtailed parliamentary timetable following the PM's surprise election announcement. But unlike Sunak's bill proposing a rolling ban on tobacco sales for kids, which has bitten the dust, the FT reported that the leasehold bill reform bill is alive, and indeed it passed last night thanks to some great work in the House of Lords. I say that there were problems, which I guess can illuminate. Basically, the idea of putting a cap on ground rent, which Michael Gove in our clip before the news had said he was very keen on. That fell by the wayside, unfortunately. But Barry Gardiner, Labour backbencher who launched Leasehold, a documentary exposing the injustices of our feudal housing system, because that indeed is its roots. I'm hoping Barry can give us the latest on it. Good morning to you, sir. Nice to see you.
Good morning, yes. Look, I'm afraid you're right. There are key promises that were made in respect of this bill. And, even coming up to an election time, they've broken their manifesto promise from last time, because ground rent is really important. And what we've seen is some of those ground rents, which is a charge that's made every year for no purpose. It's just levied on the leaseholder. In fact, they're doubling. Many of them double every few years. And you know how quickly that can mount up. It's extraordinary. So people are paying literally thousands of pounds a year in ground rent for no service at all. Now, the government promised that it would be a peppercorn, that is virtually nothing, every year. But they've failed to deliver on that.
Can I ask Barry,
one other key area?
Sorry, yeah. Barry, can you just tell me why? Because the notion of a capped ground rent was kind of, as far as I can see, was one of the key parts of the bill. I don't understand whether it's a pressure of time or whether the Lords have been got at by members who might have a number of properties that they may be leasing. Why did it not get through?
Look, you put your finger on it, and I can see from your face that you're stirring the pot quite rightly. Originally, the government had said that it would be capped at a peppercorn. They then got a huge backlash from the property owning industry and from people who had developers who had deliberately gone out of their way to create ground rent housing that they could get these ground rents off. And they put in the very small print that this ground rent, which might start off at £500 a year, and somebody thought, oh gosh, it's a bit steep, but okay, I can just about stretch to that. They then put in this doubling clause. So you can see that's £1,000, it's £2,000, it's £4,000, £8,000, £16,000. This is just crazy. And the people who'd done that said to the government, no, look, this was legal when we did it. It's our property interest. You're depriving us of our property, and therefore we will take you to court if you do. Now, my view is very simple. The law is there to protect innocent people. It is not there to enable crooks to exploit innocent people. And I'm afraid that's what's happened here. But there are other areas in this bill that we were looking forward to, an end to what's known as forfeiture. That means that if you disagreed with one of the service charges that you were being asked for, let's say for maintenance of the building that hadn't happened, and you said, well, no, I'm not going to pay £600 for the maintenance of the building because you haven't maintained it. In those circumstances, forfeiture means that the landlord, the freeholder, can come against you as the leaseholder and just take the property, not take you to a small claims court for £600 that they say you owed them, but simply forfeit the property.
I lived in a leasehold. I had no idea. That's terrible. Can I ask about Labour's position? Because if memory serves me right, wasn't it? I can't remember if it was a manifesto pledge or just a promise that they were going to scrap the ground cap within the first 100 days, I think, if memory serves.
We said we'd introduce the bill within the first 100 days originally, yes.
Is there anything left for Labour to do on this? The ground cap?
Oh gosh, totally. It's not just to reduce ground rent to a peppercorn. It's actually to abolish residential leasehold for flats. It's an iniquitous system. Nowhere else in the world has these residential leasehold properties. They all have a system either of common hold or strata title, which means that, yes, you own your flat, but you also own a share in the common parts of the building. So it's you that decides when you need a new roof. It's you that decides what color paint you want to use on the building. It's you that, and you appoint a managing agent to do that for you. You don't have somebody else tell you what to do in what you thought was your own home and then charge you for the privilege.
I don't want to blow too much smoke here, Barry, but listening to you, it's just extraordinary that this bill didn't go through properly. I mean, I know it's against the clock, but everything you're saying it's what ordinary people could benefit
Common
from
sense.
Instead of prioritising the needs of the elite, the property owning, the multi-property owning landlords. And it doesn't sit right. Barry Gardiner, good luck with your campaigning, presumably with a future Labour administration. Lovely talking to you.